Well, here it is. This is my cldd505 player without its top. And the little white box on top is the part that I received courtesy of Dwayne, aka Grasshopper. Huge thanks to him for sending me that. So here is the current situation. If I can get down here, as you can see, the laser right now is in the home position. I was able to work it over to the home position. The gears are obviously broken because you shouldn't be able to push on things that easy. But the biggest problem seems to be right around here in the back where the it does the flip. It seems to be able to get up to the top okay, and then coming back down, it seems to have a bit of a timing problem because I've noticed when the disc is in there, this whole assembly obviously lifts up, and when the laser has to come back around, it has to duck to avoid hitting this bar. And I think what happened is when the gears finally started going, it just kind of slid around. It wasn't able to get out of the way quick enough, and it slammed into this and snapped the gears. But what I haven't done yet is I haven't actually verified that I didn't break something else. So I've got it open. My Onkyo, which I recently bought for scaling, is right there. Yeah, it does say DVD input. I need to relabel them. So I'm going to grab, I've got, I don't know if you can see, let me move the, I've got a whole pile of laser discs that don't have jackets. So they make really good test discs. Now I may have to do a couple loads on this, but what I want to verify is that it actually still will play a disc. And it's been doing this since I got it. There's a belt in there I know I have to get to. So we'll just, we'll try it again. Eventually it will load. This disc appears to be warped a little bit. So here it is. It's going to go up. It says it's playing. Why do I have a black screen that said no signal? Well, you know what, guys? We might find that I have a bigger problem. As in, oh, no, wait, here we go. That must have been the disc, or something changing modes quite often, because apparently, as you can see, the player is in fact capable, for the most part, of playing when it decides it wants to. Okay. Well, obviously the problem is right now it can't move. It can't move the laser, so it's just going to sit here and play the same thing over and over. If I try to jump chapters, where is that? If I try to fast forward, the only problem with this is that you can't see the menus. But obviously, it still works to some degree. And even if I go ahead and hit side 2, you can see that it's able to make that jump up. So it's able to go back up to the top. Obviously, it still has it has some issues trying to play. Hopefully, that's due to something else and not my problem. But I'll show you. I'll hit stop, and we'll see. You can see what I'm talking about. It's trying to go through and do its thing. It probably can't track very well because the gears are broken. I'm sorry, you're not seeing anything. It's really kind of hard to do this by yourself. So I'm going to stop, and we're going to see what happens. Well, you can see it just kind of gets hung up right there, and it jams going down. So there we have it. The problem I was having before was that it didn't seem like it wanted to duck out of the way quite so quickly. So now I have it here. That's what it's doing. It's kind of stuck there. So now all I need to do is figure out how to get the laser assembly out of there so I can I'm sorry, I have a rollard of parts. My other project is sitting over here. That's a Yamaha PX3 linear tracking turntable. nowhere near quite as complex as a Laserdisc player, but still a hefty piece of machinery. So all I have to do now is try to figure out how to get the laser assembly out so I can put this part back in, which is obviously broken. I'm guessing that these pins that you probably can't see, let me get over in the light, that those pins there and there are the ones that snap, and it's probably a good thing I have this, because looking at it, I don't think there would be any way I could repair that. So that's kind of the before. Hopefully when I get this thing apart and get the new piece in there, should be good to go. Like I said, I think it's not tracking very well. Of course, it has an E3 error right now. I believe it's just not tracking very well because the gears are broken. So there you guys go. My very unorganized problems with my Laserdisc player. So I'm going to sit here for a couple of hours and figure out how to get that thing out of there. The other problem is that now I'm going to have to manually work the gears in here to get the disc out, so I can do everything. Actually, you can see where it's starting to kind of. Every time I turn it, it'll come here in a second. I want to make you guys sit here and watch this whole procedure. Normally I do it better with it sitting in my lap. Well, it's not wanting to go right now because things are not sitting where they're, nothing's synced up, and apparently if this isn't synced up, it's not going to eject. So, tell you what I guys do, I'll have to edit another video here in a few minutes and show you exactly what's going on. Alright, here's the extracted laser assembly from the player. As it turns out, all I had to do to get it out of there, which I didn't realize this the other day, is remove this bar from this side here and pop this pin out of the holder, which you can't see because it's under the spindle, but just take a little flat screwdriver, get it down in there. Don't pry on the plastic, obviously. You don't want to break that, but just get it in there and give it a sideways twist. It pops right out, and of course that bar slides in the laser assembly here. Just to give an overview, as you can see, I've got the gears that drive the unit. I have the old piece. I have the things that hold the gears from the old piece. You can very clearly see where they're broken in comparison to the new one. I may have to get them in the light, but you can very clearly see there's two plastic tabs that are on this one that are no longer on this one. In fact, you can see the remnants there and there of what happened. So the gears are not really that difficult to figure out. There's two gears. One's a smaller gear, and one is a larger gear. The gears, if you look at them sideways, they do have two sets of sprockets, gear teeth on them. This is what drives with the worm gear on the motor, the smaller one, which in turn drives this bigger gear. The big teeth on the gear are what interlock with the track. This wider portion is what interfaces with this gear. And it's not really that difficult to figure it out. In fact, when I took this laser assembly out, both these gears fell out immediately, and I had no idea which one went where. Of course, it took me about 3 seconds of remembering basic mechanical engineering to figure out that's how it goes. So all I have to do now is slide the gears onto the new holder, mount the new holder back onto the laser assembly, get the laser assembly remounted back into the player. I shouldn't be, just be careful where I touch because those caps can hold voltage. And then, hopefully, the next clip that I'll insert in this video will be the player successfully working. I wish I could show you more of the assembly, but I'll just have to do that through pictures because you know how hard it is to take stuff apart and put it back together when you're one person holding a tablet? It ain't that easy. So, like I said, again, thanks to Grasshopper on the Laserdisc database forums, I'm able to get a whole, I got the part I need to stick back on here, so I guess I should get to it. In fact, one more thing I'm going to do, while I've got the tablet wedged between my legs, is I'm going to show anybody who has done this, who needs to know how to put the gears back on, exactly how they go onto this holder. The holder sits, the motor mounts this side out. The worm gear from the motor sits in this channel here, as you can see. You can see, in fact, you can see one of the pins sticking out. The two gears, which you can see, they have a wider end. They have a wider. Oh, lovely. Don't drop your gears. It will make them even more difficult to find later. And okay, I'm just going to do this one-handed. So, as you can see from this one, this gear flares out on one end. This one flares out as well. The way these things go in here is, if you're looking at it in this orientation, I'm going to set it like this. The motor is, this is the front, back, bottom pin, top pin. You can see where the motor would be sitting mounted here with the worm gear sticking out. You want to stick this thing, I believe you want to stick this one narrow-ended down on the bottom pin. And that one has to go on first, because on this gear, the narrow end goes down and meshes with the other gear. It's that simple. The bigger gear goes on the bottom, the smaller gear goes up top. And essentially, as the worm gear works, I'm not a teacher. I can't explain it any better than that. But that's how it all goes back together. In case anyone goes to do these again and screws it up. Alright, well here she is, mostly back together. I managed to get the laser assembly back in there. I don't know if it's actually at its home position, but in theory, when I apply power, it should start doing stuff. Give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. I'll turn it on. Hey! Well, I still have this problem, but I think this is a problem I'm going to have to live with until I get the proper belt, which I know what belt I need. I just have to figure out how to get all the way down into there to change it. So, let's try playing the disc. Of course, this disc may not work so well because I think this disc is warped. But hey, I seem to have hey, there we go. Check it out. I have the Image Entertainment logo on my screen. Now, let's now, as you can see, it's actually able to play the disc before. Sorry. Whereas before, it was just kind of, unfortunately, when I do this, it goes, I'm trying to fast forward. I think I was fast forwarding. Was I fast forwarding? Yeah. I think my biggest problem right now is that this disc is warped. That or a thing just took a dive on me. Let me try a different disc here. Oh, no, there we go. This disc appears warped. Let's try something else. I should have to remember not to play that disc again. Let's go into the pile here. Here's Young Guns 2. These are a bunch of formal rentals. I think I paid a whopping 30 cents, 20 cents a piece. I bought 200 some laser discs from a guy, and half of them were like this. Alright, play. Now this one also seems warped. Why are all my freaking discs warped? But obviously this one is actually, it's still playing video. Well, let's go ahead and let's try the hard part, which is going to side B. So far, so good. I've got video. Oh, and in case anybody wants to wonder, if I could find my Onkyo remote from my Onkyo, which is over here, if you're wondering, let me turn some lights off. If you're wondering whether the Onkyo receiver will zoom a letterbox picture like this, all I have to do, go to video and change my size to zoom, and now it's properly anamorphized for my widescreen TV. I have a remote here. Let's go ahead, go back over here, and see if it will go home and give me many more years of service. Oh, beautiful. Just like it should. So, again, big thank you to Grasshopper for sending me the part. If anyone ever needs any parts or advice or service, go directly to him, because he's the guy. He knew exactly what I needed. He got me the part quick, and my player is functional again. Thanks, man. Well, you guys have a good one. I apologize for the amateurism, for the fact that I can't speak and can't film and do everything all at once. I will tell you that I've been fighting a cold for about 3 days, and I'm tired, and to be honest, I'm surprised I was able to get this thing going. But there you guys go. It's my 505, ready for service again. Happy New Year.